Hey, Bloomies! It's your girl Chris with a K, and with me today I have the beautiful Rashmy. Hi, Rashmy. How are you?
Hey, Chris. Thanks for and Bloomies. Thank you for having me on today. Again, my name is Rashmy, and we're gonna talk about my as a stroke survivor, my journey and other obstacles that I've been facing. And yeah, I'm just excited to dive into that and have that conversation with you, Chris.
Listen, I am so happy to have you on. You have been on my actual physical written list of people that I want to have on as a dream guest because, okay, so a little backstory. I met Rashmi or knew of you from our mutual connection, which is my cousin Unique. That's
Yes.
your homegirl. That's your
Yeah, my
boo.
bestie, my boo. Yes.
I know that's right. And, and then right before the whole world flipped upside down, you had an awesome event.
Yes.
What was the full name of it? I knew it was an
Um,
expo.
it was
Wasn't
an
it a
expo.
fusion?
Yeah, it's Fusion Expo. That's what it's called. So we just fusion all different type of small businesses together in one environment just to give them that exposure. So we were only able to do it one time. So hopefully in the near future, probably bring it back. But yeah, so that's where you had end up volunteering and coming as well, and being a part of the expo, which was a great experience to be honest.
No, it was a wonderful experience, and it was here in Orlando.
Yes.
And I loved the vibe that you and your friend had curated. It was
Yes.
such a warm, inviting space that highlighted small local businesses,
Yes.
primarily owners of color. I
Yes.
made a lot of connections that I still have to today.
That's amazing.
I loved it. Anything events, I'm gonna be there. And to support
Yeah.
and to support a fellow black creative, a black businesswoman,
Yes.
I'm gonna be there. So it was not trying or testing at all. So how have you been? How have you been blooming lately?
How have I been blooming? Honestly, it just taking it day by day because we already know the world is in chaos right now, and just trying in the midst of it, just trying to keep myself grounded. Staying close. Reading my Bible and continue to work on and putting myself first. So me blooming. I'm not afraid to say my age. I'm 38. I had a
38.
38. Hey, I like
Okay.
that. Yes, 38. So we're just honestly just living life and just allowing God to just work in my life and just let his plan, flourish in my life and not try to, be controlling of every aspect of it. So just allow myself to bloom, flourish as I should be, and just doing what I do need to do. Just take it day by day. That's all I can do.
One thing I can say about being in your energy, and even whether it's in the same room or, I mean, we honestly reconnected at the Renaissance movie. I was like,
Yes.
come on, fellow Beehive. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
But even then, just like, and following you on social media and seeing all of your content, like, you've just always been a light, just always bright, very motivating, very just firm and grounded in who you are and in your faith.
Yes.
And that's always something that I've admired from a distance, you know?
Yeah.
And it's so palpable. Like you can feel it off the screen. Like I look forward to your videos because even, in the midst of doom scrolling, where you
Yeah.
tend to just kind of zone out from it, it's
Hmm.
pleasant to like see, some of your seeing your content and seeing how
Yes.
much progress that you've made
Yes.
since you had your stroke. Do you
Yes.
mind going into details about what happened?
Oh yes. So I had a stroke at 34, and it was back on. It happened. It feels like it happened yesterday. It was back on September 3rd, 2022. I actually went out on vacation to California for the first time, LA, to go visit a friend because he's been bothering. He's like, "Girl, why haven't you come out here and see me? Everybody came out to see me. You haven't come." So I'm like, "Okay, fine." So I planned it during Labor Day weekend to be out there for a week. And mind you, prior to me coming out there, we planned out all the events and stuff that we're going to go to. We're supposed to go on this all white yacht party, all this stuff planned out, right? So when I got there, landed, mind you, it's not my first time flying to the West Coast. So got out there, picked me up, was fine, getting the party started as we typically do when we're on vacation, start drinking, typical normal stuff. And then the next day, that evening, we had went out for dinner, had some more drinks, and then the second day that I was there, the second full day I was there, that's when I wasn't like really feeling well. We was gonna go ahead and do a hike, but either of us couldn't do the hike. I'm thinking like, oh, it's the liquor, or it's like, oh, we need to go back and lay down. And mind you, I didn't know any of the pre-symptoms to a stroke at the time. So I didn't know those were the symptoms because I was like throwing up, I wasn't feeling good, and I was literally laying down all day. And another thing about me, I am type 2 diabetic, but I had my diabetes under control during that whole entire time. So it was like that could offset it, and I don't have high blood pressure, so that's nothing that I could think of that may have caused it. So that later on that night, when we that night, it was like early in the morning, so this is the third day. I woke up, FaceTime my little sister, and I was fine. I was having conversation. Everything was perfectly normal, right? So I got off the phone with her, and I was like, "Dang, I gotta go use the bathroom." So I had got up off the bed, and I fell to the floor, and I'm like over here struggling. It's like literally was an out of body experience. I saw my left hand go up and over and back and down, back. But my arm, my whole left side was heavy. It was not moving. Luckily, my friend, he typically goes out on the patio to go do his little activities, but he didn't. So he came back in the room. He was like, "Girl, what you doing on the floor?" I was like, "I can't get up." Mind you, in my head, I'm like, "I know how to get up. You know how to get up off the floor." So I'm trying to get up. My
Yeah.
left side of my body was so heavy. He immediately was like, "What's happening?" He saw like something was happening, and I didn't know what was happening, and like everything was like spinning. Then I started feeling a throbbing on my right side of my head. So he immediately called my sisters, and then my sisters, he handed me my phone, and I was able to hold my phone up, and both my sisters was on the phone FaceTiming me. And my one of my sisters, she has her best friend is a nurse practitioner. She got her on the phone call as well. She took 2 seconds, looked at me. She was like, "You need to get to her hospital. Get to her hospital right now, literally." So thankfully, he
Wow.
was only 10 minutes from the hospital, and he had to call his boyfriend to come and help pick me up because he couldn't lift me up because my left side was so heavy, right? So the ambulance came. It's like literally a movie. Rushed to the hospital. They did it's a small incision that they did near my thigh area, that they put a tube up to go to my brain to suck out the blood. Because what happened was I had a blood clot.
Oh.
So the type of stroke I had was an ischemic stroke. So it stopped blood flow in one area part of the brain, which affected the top right side of my brain, which caused no oxygen to flow in that area, right? So it stopped all whatever's happening there, just stopped for a moment, and then during that time frame, my left side became weak. So I have left side weakness, so I'm not able to move my arm and my legs. So the first 3 days I was in ICU. After that, I went to the stroke unit floor, and I couldn't feel my left side for like the first 2 days. I like no sensation or anything, but after a while, I start feeling sensation. But yeah, it was a very scary experience, traumatic, very traumatic, because I'm a healthy person. I go to the gym,
Hmm.
I eat right, even before me having a stroke, and then it plays a big factor into now in my recovery journey, because all I'm doing is like it's basically muscle memory. So I'm just trying to remind my muscle, strengthen my muscle during my recovery stage of doing better. But yeah, it was a very traumatic experience for me and everybody around me, my whole family. So it was a lot. It's unexpected. I'm all the way on the West Coast. Everybody here in Florida, people trying to figure out how to fly in to come and get me, help me, and stuff. Luckily, I have friends that were out there, and obviously my friend that was I was visiting, so that was there supporting me, coming to visit me, and make sure I'm okay and stuff like that. But yeah, it was scary. I'm not even gonna lie, it was scary. It was scary. I cried for like the whole week because I couldn't understand like what was happening, and they couldn't find anything that was like truly like what caused it. They only told me to stop taking my birth control pills, basically. Just stop taking my birth control. They run so many tests and they couldn't figure out what was the root cause of me having the stroke.
Wow.
But
That
yeah,
sounds terrifying. I'm so sorry that you had to experience that, especially like you said, like have always been a healthy, physically active person. Even
yeah,
on
hmm
paper, like none of your test results, like yeah, you being type 2, but it was controlled, it was managed, like you were doing all of the things that you were needing to
hmm
do
yes,
and having a clean bill of health, and then you have this blood clot and all of a sudden
yeah,
your
that formed
world
out of
changes.
nowhere. Yep, yep.
Wow. Okay, so how did this experience change the way you relate to your body? Like I know
Um,
like just you being so active and,
uh-huh.
being able to do whatever and push your body beyond its limits to then experiencing that kind of trauma where you literally see like you're incapable of moving your
Right.
own body and just the
Yes.
attachment, the direct tie to independence. Like what all is in your mind at this
Right.
point?
Honestly, it was in my mind, still trying to process, and it was it's still a humbling experience for me. It's true humbling because I'm a very independent person and I like to do things on my own. So now I'm forced to like actually ask for help, rely on people that want to support and help me, and just knowing at the time frame that to give myself a lot of grace because I was a very active person. So knowing that I'm sick basically, right? So I'm losing all this weight, losing all this muscle mass that I've worked so hard to gain. So having to process that and just again give myself grace in order to be like, okay, Rashmi, just take your time. This is the time for you. Your body needs to rest, and then eventually I'll get back into it. So just basically trying to motivate myself and encourage myself and not try to discourage myself from the state that I'm in right now because it took a while for me to gain my confidence back because I'm looking myself in the mirror and I'm like I don't even recognize the person that I'm looking at. So it took
Mm.
time for me to like really build up my confidence and try to find my inner beauty as well as my outer beauty because at the beginning because what happened is like when I had my stroke I had drooping on the left side, meaning this whole left side of my face just dropped and just like as I say
Oh
it,
wow.
it drops. So when I smile, this side of my left side of my lips, they like it just still in that stage. But now it's gotten
Mm.
better because I'm practicing doing exercises for facial exercises. So in order to strengthen the muscles in my face, because that's what it is.
Mm.
It's the face, the weakness in my face. So but just having it come to that because my little sister could tell you. I remember one day I literally was crying on her shoulders because I'm like my smile looks crazy, like I couldn't even look at myself. It was very like it hurt. So, she encouraged me and it was like, this is not the end. It will get better over time, but it just like at that moment it's like, oh my gosh, what is happening right now? And like so it took me time to build up my confidence, continue to give myself grace, and knowing that I will get to the point where I'm back to being active as I was prior to my stroke. But it's just now everything is different. It's just different.
What were some of the support systems you had in place to help you while you were grappling with the your current situation and having to be forced into accepting? Because now you're at this point. Thank God you were able to survive it, and
Yes.
now you have to have a strict rehab routine in order to try to gain back as much of your physical abilities as you did before. Like, what
Right.
support systems did you have in place to help you?
For me, first, I had, as soon as, even when I was in the hospital, I had my therapist. So we were on a video call just talking because first I need to get my mental right. I need help processing what has happened to me. So that was my main, like, my first support as when it comes to, like, my mental. And then after that, as far as family, I had my little sister. She came up from down south and stayed with me for the first 3 months of the beginning of my recovery journey until I'm able to like, until my mom was like physically like able to like maintain my schedule and help me with certain things. But she was there like cooking my food, making sure I was good, taking me to my therapy appointment. So she was really like there for me. And then my other sister, she stays in Maryland. She was the one that actually flew out to California and flew back with me to Florida, and she stayed with me for a full week when I was in when I first entered into inpatient rehab because I was in inpatient rehab for a month. So I had to like basically live there for a whole month, and then my friends and family members will come and visit me and check up on me. And then I also had my core group of friends that they would come by, help me out, and especially like Unique. She's amazing, and you know
She
that.
absolutely is.
She when
Yes.
I was in inpatient rehab. She literally like We do stuff for each other all the time, but this one was like very touching. She came in with a nice little basket with all the stuff that I will need in order while I was there. It was so sweet, and she pulled everything one by one and explained the reason why she got it. It was so cute. And then even after the fact, when I had moved into my condo, Unique will make it. Even when I was at my parents' house, she would make it a point to come and stay with me, stay the night. She'll bring a bag. She'll come stay the weekend. She's like, let me know what you need help with. It's just stuff like that. And my
Yeah.
sisters, everybody would check up on me a lot. It did slow down a little bit because life is happening for everybody. So it's just like my support system. My parents stay 10 minutes away, so my mom, she's doing better. We're trying to come by as much as she can because that woman is retired. I'm like, man,
um,
what are you doing over there? But yeah, people again, life is lifing for everybody. So we're just
yeah.
happy to understand that people, you have to accept people in the way where they're at, right? And then they're just going to be able to show up for you the best of their capacity, and you can't fault them for that. So my support system has been really good. A little shaky along the way, but has been great. Yeah.
Thank God you have that support system. It's so
Yeah.
key, especially
Yeah.
when your whole world flips upside down and you're just trying to
Hmm.
find your footing to see
Yes.
accepting what's going on, making sense of it, while
Yep.
also having to build yourself back up mentally, emotionally, and physically. So
Hmm.
thank God you had those people in your corner. So I want to take it back a little bit. So before everything happened, how did you see yourself? Like what parts of you shifted after the stroke?
Oh, that's a very good question. I want to say what shifted for me was my mental state because honestly, the stroke shook everything up for me. It just having to reconnect and ground myself back again. It's like literally, I felt like I started from the beginning. And then when I say
Mhm.
beginning, you got to think about like your workout journey. When you start working out, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't see no change. I don't see no weight loss. I don't see anything happening. That's literally what happened to me. As much as I can compare it to when I had my stroke, and what shifted for me was like my mental, having to reprocess and retrain my mind to look at things a different way, a different outlet. Because not that I say I didn't enjoy my life prior to having a stroke or live my life prior to having a stroke, but it made me look at my life a little bit differently and not take it for granted. Because tomorrow is really truly not promised, and I'm a living witness of that, and
Mhm.
I can testify to that to say, yeah, tomorrow's not promised. Because I can easily that could have easily been left for me because there's a time frame that you have to get to the hospital
Oh
in
yeah.
order for because you have I think it's within 4 hours of you having a stroke you have to get to the hospital before more
Wow.
damage is done. If you don't get there within that time frame, you literally you're on to the Lord. So thank God that wasn't my story, and I'm still here today to be able to share my story and my testimony with everybody. But that literally shifted for me was my mindset and having to restart because I having to learn how to use my hand again. I'm not quite there yet, but walking again, starting to do those movements with my left side. Because you think just because it's one side, it's like okay, it's not going to be that difficult to regain all those movements again. But it's actually very challenging and it's very tiring to do those things. So it's like having to start over. It's a big shift for me. So in the midst of trying to, you're trying to survive in the midst of all that. So yes.
So in terms of purpose, because I like asking people about this, Rashmy before, what would you say your purpose in life? How did you seem to connect to people? What is it that people would always like say? Like what lit your fire?
My fire. Honestly, my fire. These some good questions. Okay, got me thinking over here. What was my purpose in life? Honestly, because even before and even after the stroke, I'm gonna say it's still the same for me. It just looks a little bit different of how I'm relaying the message. Because I'm a very inspirational person. I'm very
Hmm.
motivational. I'm an encourager. So I feel like that's what my purpose in life and just understanding what my assignment is to encourage, motivate, and inspire others. And I feel like, we never understand the reason why certain things happen to us. And, at the beginning, I was questioning God of like, why did this happen to me? But starting to slowly to understand like everything happens for a reason because now I'm here. My content is consist of me share my journey of recovery from like beginning to like where I'm at now. And I'm inspiring people along the way, motivating people along the way, encouraging people along the way, regardless if you had a traumatic experience or not. You know, you need to keep going and keep moving forward and keep yourself in a positive mindset. And I always have been this positive person. And thankfully, I had a good, strong relationship with the Lord prior to my stroke. It's not after my stroke. I'm like, oh my gosh, let me give my life to God. No, I already gave my life to Christ way before then. So my journey with the Lord has, you know, just getting stronger and stronger as the days goes on. So thankfully I had that, and again, and it's because of my positive mindset that helps push me forward, and I'm able to spread that with everybody else. And then a fun fact about me, my name Rashmy is Indian, but we know I'm not Indian. I'm Haitian. So the meaning behind my name
Hey.
is a ray of sunshine. So that is basically what the light. So being a light, and that's what I ask the Lord all the time. Allow me to be the light. Like allow your light to shine through me so others can see. So it's my name being a ray of sunshine and my smile and just being a light for those
Absolutely.
around me. So yeah, for me, that's what I feel like my purpose is in life is to encourage, motivate, inspire, and then I'm hoping, especially with the content that I'm posting now with my recovery journey, that I'm fulfilling those those duties.
That is beautiful. How did your mom come across the name, or who picked your
Oh,
name?
my mom, but I don't know. I asked her, she can't even tell me. She can't even
That
tell
is,
me. So I not.
talk about things being written out before you even come to be. Like that's such a
Hello.
beautiful, yeah,
It's a
like
beautiful
it
thing. Yes,
perfectly encapsulates like who you are. You are a ray
yes,
of sunshine. Like
yes.
you do brighten up a room and you brighten up the timeline. So I noticed a reoccurring pattern like in your responses, and they all kind of center around grief.
Yes.
And I did want to, another reason why I wanted to have you on is because I am, there seems to be this looming, there's so much grief going on, there's a lot of
Hmm.
heaviness, and people
Yes.
always associate grief with just the loss or death of a loved one
Hmm.
or a friend, but there are different ways of grieving.
Hmm.
And it's just a loss of any kind, whether
Hmm.
you know it's the life that you used to have, a future that you thought you'd have, a career, like all of the things. So people don't always talk about the grief that comes with surviving. What did you
Yes.
find yourself quietly mourning while you were going through this process?
Honestly, it didn't till recently, I want to say, it's the old me. It's just like trying to
Mm.
bring back the old version of myself when that person is no longer existing. Anybody that knew the Rashmi prior to my stroke, I hope you keep that in the vault, but that's not who I am today. And that's
Mm.
me learning to grieve the old me. Because at the beginning, I kept saying, oh, I want to get back to the old me doing this. No, this is just a new version, a better version that God is helping me cultivate in my life, like as me as a person right now. So the old rash me of certain things that I used to do, I can't do them now, or I'm not able to do them yet, but it's just like grieving my old self, like fully my old self, and trying and learning to accept how I look and the person that I am today and what I'm growing to be.
What do you miss the most about your previous version of yourself?
Honestly, the easiest thing is just physical, just be able to do everything that I used to do, just not even thinking about it. And that's the thing people don't realize is like after having a stroke and losing your mobility on one side, and it's like it's a lot to process to know that I was once typing before, I was once jumping and running before, and now it's just like I can't do those stuff just yet. You know, having to relearn and regain to do that. My speech, thankfully, wasn't impacted as much. There's strokes out there. One is called an aphasia stroke, where the stroke happened at the back of the lower of the brain, and it caused you to not be able to speak. You could think you're
Mm.
thinking about the words that you're trying to say, but you cannot articulate or say the word, and it's hard for you to remember certain things. And I do that has been impacted for me because sometimes I forget like certain because it caused memory loss too as well. So I forget certain
Mm.
things that I want to say. But that was like at the beginning, it was hard for me to say certain things cognitively wise, hard for me to process certain things in my mind. I process things very good, but now I'm in a good place. But before it was very difficult trying to do that. But it's not the same as people
Yeah.
need to understand. Like you had a brain injury, It's not like, I broke my leg or I broke my arm. I had a brain injury, something that impacted me mentally and that is going to impact my physical well-being. So learning, like, just trying to think like, dang, I used to could do this, but I can't do this right now or just yet. And I may not be able to do it, at all. So just trying to accept that. So like it's just the ability just to be moving without even thinking about it. So now I'm have to relearn and I have to think about it hard what the movement is that I'm doing, especially with my left side. So
You're having to reconnect your mind and your body in a whole new way that you never had to do before. It just kind of ran
yep,
on autopilot. It did what it's supposed to do.
exactly. So like when you getting up to go for a walk, you just get up and go for a walk. For me, it's like I gotta get up. I gotta think about it. I have to make sure I get up, get balanced, right? And then I have to think about my foot, trying to make the movement to go heel to toe. And right now, that's what I'm really focusing and trying to work on. So doing heel to toe while I'm walking, but I got to think about it. It's not something that is automatically is going to happen. So it's a lot to process. Like, okay, you got to move your leg, you got to move your arm, or you got to do this, you got to do that. So everything, my brain working 10 times harder for my left side in order to do it. So
I don't know why, and I don't have this question, but this
yeah,
message, it's almost as if, not to say that what happened to you is a benefit, but all things happen for a reason, and it's all
yep,
part of God's divine plan.
yeah, yep,
That's one of my beliefs.
yep.
Do you think it's caused you to slow down in a way that you weren't previously, to move more with intention?
Hello. Yes, it did. And Unique says it all the time. And I jokingly say this. I'm like, God, if you wanted my attention that bad, you could have did it a different way, you know? But no, it did cause me to slow down because before my stroke, I used to be enjoying, like I said, living my life, enjoying life, right? I'm out with my friends every weekend doing a brunch or going to some type of event. I'm traveling, going places and doing a lot of stuff. And I'm working out, going to work, doing all these rigorous activities during the week. And then the weekend is filled up with entertaining and socializing with other people. So I was doing a lot prior to my stroke. After my stroke, literally everything just stopped for a moment. Now I'm starting to pick back up of going out, hanging out with my friends, but it's to a limit. So now I have some structure, some boundaries set because I have to know my limit because I get tired so easily now. So I can only do certain things at certain times. I have to pick and choose whether or not, depending on the weather. Because now, since it's cold in Florida, the weather affects my left side. So it stiffens it up a lot. So it makes it hard for me to walk or do anything. So I literally have to sit on the couch majority of the time, covered up in a blanket, trying to stay warm. But yeah, it caused me literally to slow down a lot. And that's not a bad thing. It's just like just trying to take in like my journey and really process like sit in what God has me trying to like understand what God is wanting me to take out of this, not trying to rush through the process. Because at the beginning I'm like, dang Lord, I really just want to be able to run and walk, use my hand by tomorrow, right? But that's not how things happen. It's going to take time in order for me to not even get to a full 100% recovery. Probably get to like maybe 98%, right? But 100%, that's not going to happen. So I'm already come to terms with that. But just getting to that percentage. But in order for me to do that, I have to slow down. I have to take care, and it forces me to look at every aspect and area of my life. Was that really necessary? Did I really need to do all those things? So and just making time to one, spend more time with God, and two, try to figure out who Rashmy is at this point and at this day and age. So just figuring out who I am as a person, what I want, what I'm looking for, what my boundaries are set in stone, just figuring all that out. And yeah, so slowing down was actually a good thing for me. And that way I could, I need to sit my behind down somewhere.
So, okay, so the theme of blooming lately,
Yeah.
as a as a late bloomer, I decided to create a platform for fellow late bloomers. And I like to say that we're not late, we're blooming on our own time.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of areas in our lives that maybe we just don't feel as connected to. We don't feel the same sense of urgency or connection that society, family, even religion tells you that you should. What areas would you say you've experienced being a late bloomer, or has, having a stroke brought some of those things to light?
I want to say one area, which is many for all. It's like my dating life is, ugh, right. So, and I'm okay with it. I'm very content because I'm the oldest. I have two younger sisters, right? And both of my younger sisters are married, right? And the baby,
Okay.
my baby sister, she has my nephew, so she's the first one to have a baby. So it's like all of that's happening underneath me, right? And everybody in my family looking like, what about you? I'm like, what about me? Right? So it's like, so for me in that area, I at the beginning I felt like I was like, especially seeing my sisters, they're younger than me. I'm like, dang, okay, I'm happy for them, of
Yeah.
course. But it's like, dang, but it's like when it's gonna be like my time and stuff like that. But just understanding that yeah, it's gonna happen for me later on, which is not a big deal. Coming to terms with that and being single, because I know for me. I did try the whole dating actually early on in my stroke. It didn't quite.
Really?
Yeah, I did. I actually,
Okay.
and it was somebody that I had known prior to me having a stroke. It just like during that time, I was like, he was there, was a listening
Mm-hmm.
ear, and was and allowing me to like talk and just being that support, just from a different type of attention from a male. So for me, I'm thought we got started talking, dating, and then eventually made it official. But things started to like unfold, which just made it too much for me because I thought I could handle being in a relationship, especially so early on in my stroke recovery journey.
Mm.
So I had to cut ties and like wish him the best, but it wasn't working out for me. And then so for me, I'm like, okay, so I tried it, and I know right then and there wasn't the right time for me to be in a relationship. And even after the fact, now I'm still single. I'm not even thinking about dating because that's not on my forefront. I'm focused on myself and trying, in my recovery, because I want to get better, and I just want my
Absolutely.
confidence to be in a different place, especially physically, when I am getting back into the dating world. So in that area, that's where I felt like I was blooming late, because of like it's like dang, my younger sisters are married, one has a baby, and it's like everybody in my family like, okay, the last one, they always say the best for last. So I'm
Yeah.
like, and then how society puts it on us for in our heads, especially with everything growing up in the movies. They make it look so like rainbows and sunshine, you know,
Mm-hmm.
being on the fairy tale relationship, da 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 da. And then, having the mindset, oh, I want to be married by 25, have kids before I'm 30. And I'm looking back like during those ages, that's when I was in college, turning. I went, baby, who married where? So
Listen, I can relate for sure. I am also the eldest. It's just me and my sister, but I am the eldest of six grandchildren.
oh wow.
And usually, I guess a lot of firstborns tend to set the tone. So there are
Yeah.
people, I guess, maybe Generation X really was like the last one to like set that tone of the oldest being the one to set the tone and getting married and doing all of the things. I feel like something as a millennial, we were very rebellious. We
Very
were like,
like you can't
we
tell me what
noticed
to
that a
do.
lot. Yeah, I feel like we were the observant generation that was like, oh, this was a hot mess, and here's what we're not gonna do. And
Exactly.
so, and just being able to question a lot of things. I admired that so much about us to be like, you say that we should be doing all of these things and trying to condition us to want these things, but you guys look miserable, and I don't
No,
want to be miserable.
exactly. Exactly. That's the difference with our generation now. It's like our parents, they stayed in their relationship because they just thought that's the best thing to do,
It was
regardless.
obligation.
Right, right. But us as women, especially black women, this day and age, we have our own everything.
Mm-hmm.
So once a man start talking out the side of his neck, out of there, because there's no
Listen.
way you're gonna sit here and disrespect me. I'm not gonna sit here and stand for that.
Oh, they
So
hate
it's
that. They
like,
hate that we have standards.
yep,
They hate that we
standards,
have standards.
boundaries. We're making money, and I really hate that term, big money. I hate it so much. Just because I'm taking
Mm-hmm.
care of myself and taking care of my household. What you mean, big
Yeah.
money? I'm doing it, so I'm going to work and working hard for everything I got.
Exactly. Exactly. Like you're an adult in society. Like you need to just be able to take
Right.
care of yourself. And honestly, just thinking of a lot of the black rom coms or black
Mm-hmm.
romance movies, just like even waiting to exhale, like some they were pushing and challenging the whole needing someone to complete you.
Yes.
You
You
need
don't need
somebody
a
to
man.
compliment you. I don't need you to
Exactly.
complete me. Compliment me.
Compliment me, enhance me. Please show me something.
Yeah.
Please show me something, because don't come and be a burden and disturb my peace. I'm not, and I think about with me, I'm not that
Exactly.
desperate to be in a relationship because now
That
I'm not,
part.
absolutely
One
not.
thing
Not about
about it,
out.
I'm gonna be team me.
Yeah, hello. Me all the
Listen,
way.
if you're giving me headaches or making me question myself, things that I love about myself, or things
Right.
that I'm like, oh, why am I getting insecure about? Oh, you are not the one, honey.
Yeah, at
You're
all.
not the
At
one or the
all.
two.
At all. At all. So that
Yeah,
was
so
like the area.
I could definitely say, in terms of dating and relationship, I was definitely ashamed to feel like a late bloomer in that area where just looking back, it just, yeah, you have like your crushes and like you know, beats
Yeah.
okay. I'm one of those girlies. So you have like, you know, your crushes and your little boyfriend situations or whatever, but I just never saw
Yeah.
myself being locked down to somebody. Like just even considering it to be locked down. I felt like there's
Yeah.
so much that I wanted to do and experience independently
Yeah.
that
And like,
being in a
yeah.
relationship, you do have to be prepared. Like there is a certain level of capacity you need to have
Right.
to
Too.
consider someone.
Yep. Because that's the thing.
Consideration is big for me.
Yes. Yes. And being thoughtful too. Come on now. I need
Absolutely.
these men don't think. They're not observant. It's like they want you to spoon feed them everything, but you don't know, like, just the basic. They don't even do the bare minimum. So it's like,
Ciao. The bar is in the sub basement of hell, is what I've been saying.
no, it is. It is. It is. It is. It is.
Girl. Okay, I love that. So, what would you say? Because we talked about the version of you that you grieved. What
Yeah.
version of you before that still is who you are, but has
Hmm.
evolved to being this better version? What
Better,
aspect
better,
of
better.
Rashmi?
Um, I want to say the aspect of me, because I'm always, as you know, I'm always a talker. Communication was never my issue, but I feel after the show, it had forced me to better communicate, and not just regular talking, just my emotions, and as
Mm,
well as just speaking on it, because that's hard to talk about your emotions and how you truly feel about somebody, and speaking up for yourself and advocating for yourself in certain situations, so letting people know how you truly feel respectfully. So I'm always going to tell people, I always spoke up for myself, but now it's a whole different level of speaking up for myself and advocating for myself, and making sure people are not walking over me, because obviously we're all, everybody nice, right? Kindness, people take kindness for weakness. They think because you're
mm-hmm.
smiling all day, da 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 da, that you're not going to say anything, you're just going to let stuff fly over. But after the stroke, I'm not going to lie, I've communicated, I've voiced myself, let people know, like, hey, I didn't like what you did, or I didn't like how you said this towards me. You just have to be a little bit mindful about my feelings, especially right now, because after having a stroke, I became very emotional. Like,
Wow.
yeah, because it caused me to, like, girl, I be sitting in the living room, I just start crying out of nowhere. But it's just like, those are just your it's just my brain activity, just trying to process and stuff not connecting properly, and it's normal for that to happen. So it's like trying to regulate my emotions, and just, but for me, mainly for that, enhanced got a lot better as far as my communication, and emotionally wise, expressing to people, to others, how I'm feeling, and not expecting people to read my mind and understand this body
Mm.
language, this is how I'm feeling, or this is because my face look like that, you should automatically know what my thought process is at this moment. So yeah, so just actually relaying the message. What's up here? Out. But
I
yeah.
feel like you kind of got me together a little bit because I'm one of those. Can't you read the billboard on my forehead to know how I
Hello.
feel? Because
Like,
I
you
don't
don't
know
feel the vibe?
why.
Because I'm the type of
Listen,
person, like, when I'm in a room, like, I have awareness. I have too much awareness, and that's like my downfall. It's a good thing and a bad
Mm,
thing because it's just like I'm so self-aware to the point it's like you don't see that, you don't feel the vibes, you don't see how they're moving. Like, are you not paying attention? Do you not see what I see? And people, a lot of people, along my recovery journey, and still now to this day, they lack self awareness. It's like it shouldn't
mm-hmm.
take me 50 million times to tell you, like, hey, I need help with this, or I'm struggling with this. Yeah, I know I'm temporarily disabled. I shouldn't have to million times ask you to help me. Something, you know, I'm gonna need help. Help
Yeah.
me, right? So it's
or
just like the
or
lack of
to no, I was gonna say, or be honest and say that you don't have the capacity to help me, so then I could find someone else
right. That's
or
it. If
some
you
other
can
resource
help
that
me,
can.
don't have me because I'm the type of person. I'm not chasing nobody, and I'm like I said, I'm a very independent person. I figure it out, and it's so amazing to see the amount of things that I've got accomplished and done in my condo around just doing stuff by myself with one hand. It's crazy.
I
The
love
things
that.
that that you think you could do it, you could do it. So when I be looking at
Yeah.
people, I'm like, I'm doing everything with one hand. I go to work and I'm typing with one hand all day.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the excuse, you know? So, but yeah, so it's like my communication and it got a lot better as far as me just expressing myself more and just really speaking on my emotions and not expecting people to read my mind.
What level of grief do you think helped you to channel that more? Because there's a certain level of vulnerability. I think that's where we tend to disconnect.
Yes.
It's like, ooh, like I'm showing how I really feel. Like that's scary. And do I trust the person that I'm sharing this to? Or even for yourself, like we tend to
Hmm.
compartmentalize things, hide things, whether depending
Yeah.
on, who we are in relation to other people. Can you show that much emotion and feel
Hmm.
supported in that or not? So,
Yeah.
what would you say? Like, which aspect of it? I know some things are just part
I,
of the recovery journey in your brain, like healing
right, right,
itself,
right, right.
but we're also in
Yeah.
our mid to late 30s and approaching perimenopause. And the way that the
Hmm.
aunties are not making that look any,
At all. I'm not even
it,
looking
it
forward to
looks
it, okay?
it looks terrifying, like things like the brain fog. I'm like,
Yes.
anxiety does that to me where I just don't know what it is that I was going to say. You mean that's just something that could happen?
Right.
And then just
Memory
being
loss. You forget how to do certain things.
yeah, emotions all over the place. You crying, happy, sad, miserable, excited all
Right.
at the
You're
same
hot, you're
time.
cold. There's just so much happening with your body. Like, I'm not looking forward to that at all. At all. When I came to that realization, it was early on. Shout out to my little sister Milla, because I want to feel like she got the brunt of like me trying to figure out my emotions and how to process it at the beginning because I literally would crash out on her because I'm trying to process and I'm trying to articulate and say what I need to say, but it's not coming out. But I'm crying. It's a lot of emotions that are happening right now. So she got the brunt of it, and then I have my occupational therapist, Vala, who you see on my page a lot. Especially my first year of working with him. When I say we shed so many tears because of like my emotions, and he's like, this is the place I'm allowed. You can let it out. We got tissues here. Don't you worry about it. And it just be times where I just be so tired, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
just like crying, but he allowed me to be, even to this day, to be vulnerable and just to let it out. And he talk, and we talk about everything because obviously I'm spending so much time with this man, so in therapy, so every day. So it's like, okay, so I have to open up about certain things that are happening in my life, so that way we could talk it through while we're doing our therapy sessions. So it just during those times, it was really at the beginning is when
Mm-hmm.
that like for me, and then as time goes on it just got stronger and stronger as far as for me to understand and to be able to process my emotions in a different way. So
What parts of yourself do you look forward to seeing you bloom in?
oh my gosh, the main part for me, you already know, is physical, right? Because I'm ready to put on them stiletto pumps
Pumps
in the
in
club.
the
Hey, I'm
club.
ready for the stiletto.
Hey, hey. Then I put
I'm
that in the
ready to put my
message.
stilettos on.
I was like, girl, them pumps is coming soon.
They
Listen,
coming.
when you put on them
Hello, yeah,
boots,
because you saw
when
my
you put on
video
them boots,
where when
mm-hmm.
I put on Yes, and they were only 1 inch, so the next goal is to get to 2 inches. But that's like for me, it's the physical part of it
Yeah.
is that's the most aspect that I'm looking forward to be able to walk normal and have my arms swinging on like it should be on the left side, using my hands and just be able to put on some heels and strut. Because the way that I'm going to be ripping the runway, I'm gonna be ripping
Listen,
that runway.
listen. The world is your runway.
Yes, it is. It is. So that's what I'm excited for, and just to see like from where I started from being bedbound to where I'm at now is still an amazing milestone for me to get to,
Hmm.
and just excited to see when I like get to the physical part as being able to wear heels and be able to do jump squats and be able to like go to the gym. And I'm still gonna be tired in the most part, but there's certain aspects that's physical wise that I'm gonna be excited that I'll be able to get back and fully get back into and doing without any hesitation. So I'm excited for that. Yes.
What does the future look like for you, aside from the physical? What areas of your
The
life,
physical,
or what is the picture aside from
the
physical?
picture from
Yeah.
physical for me is like because now I have when I'm just looking at the whole aspect of my life is just like eventually getting a single family home and maybe moving to a different state, but this is all if it's within God's plans it will happen, just maybe starting doing a career change, we all the goal is to make more money. That's always the goal. Make more money.
Mm-hmm.
So, hopefully be making 6 figures. So the future for me is like whatever is within God's plan is in his will. Yeah, I can have a envision for my life because I did not envision this in my
True.
life when I was thinking about this in the future. For me, at that back in that time, that's not what I envisioned. I envisioned, yeah, I purchased my first home, my condo, while I was in recovery, right? Didn't picture it being it that way, but
Yeah.
that's what it ended up happening, So it's just like I don't know how it's gonna unfold, how it's gonna happen, but what I see myself in as far in the future is a lot of things I aspire and want to do, but as long as it's according to God will, because it may not unfold the way I envision unfolding, but it
Mm-hmm.
may unfold. I don't know. But like I said, just coming back to like, yeah, I wanted to buy my first home, but I didn't think I was purchasing my first home while in recovering from a stroke. Nobody thinks about that.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was going to happen to me. So, but yeah,
So this perspective that you have, would you say it's due to a different level of surrender, or do you see it more as adventure?
what you mean?
So, just thinking of like life before the stroke.
Uh-huh.
Of course, we have
Uh-huh.
a lot of, and it was kind of conditioned to us through school or whatever. Like, what is your 5 year plan? What is your 10 year plan? You want to have these markers. Like, we try to control as many aspects of our lives, and we try to set certain systems in place to achieve those
Right,
goals. But
right,
once you have this happen to you, and it throws everything off to
right,
where, yeah, there are some things that you can still work towards, but it might look a little different. Like,
right.
would you say that the key in moving still forward and motivating yourself to achieve those goals, like, is there a different level of surrender, whether it be religion and
Yeah, yeah,
spiritually based
yeah.
surrender, or do you more so see it as an adventure of just like, I can't control anything because something can happen, but I'm just here for the ride and whatever
Right,
that
right.
looks like.
I
Like,
want,
what would you say, or maybe
yeah, I
both
want.
together?
Yeah, I would say it's a little bit of both. More of the more aspect of surrendering, but also just living life because in order I have to surrender and then just do my part the best that I can because I always tell people that do the best that you can and leave the rest up to God at this point because he's in control and as you can see things that transpired in my life I had no control over of
Mm-hmm.
that aspect of it. So it just forcing me to fully surrender every aspect of my life truly to God and just continue to live my life and being adventurous to a certain extent as far as like okay just you could just at this point you gotta let it be because God forbid it went left and I was telling my sister this the other day I was like I have a whole 401k amount I would have went up to see the Lord and I wouldn't even see that money I can't go nowhere that money can't come with me what I'm saying so it's just like
Mm-hmm.
enjoying the trying to enjoy the fruits of my labor now and not waiting. Because that's why I always tell people, stop pushing stuff off. If you want to do something, do it. Don't wait. There's never a perfect time to do something. It's never a perfect time. Only thing I could think of is maybe you may not financially have it to do it at that time. That's different. But other than that, there's so much things that you want to accomplish, want to do. Just go for it. You just gotta trust God and just go for it, because again, tomorrow's not promised. And if you want to do something, do it. If you fail at it, oh well, on to the next. Try something else. Change your strategy, change the structure of it, of what you're doing. So, but yeah, for me, it's a little bit of both, adventurous and surrendering.
What would you say for anyone listening who either has experienced a stroke or some other kind of physical limitation that was not expected?
Yeah.
What would be your advice or like a message to them?
Yes, and I always say this. I try to say this in a lot of my videos because I get a lot of questions when I do post certain videos, and I try to answer all the DMs as much as possible. But for me, the advice I would give is like keep going, and honestly, it's like easier said than done. But you want to keep pushing yourself, don't stop, and you want to find the motivation within. And I'm not sure what everybody's relationship with God, but I know for me, God has played a huge role as far as keeping me centered and grounded along my recovery journey. And try not to look at anybody else's stroke recovery journey, because we may have had the same type of strokes, but our body heals differently. You don't know what my lifestyle, unless, obviously I shared it, but you don't know what my lifestyle was prior to my stroke. I don't know what your lifestyle was prior to having a stroke. I went to the gym every day, ate right. You may have not went to the gym, so you going into physical therapy is going to look a lot different for you versus me going into physical therapy. These movements, I remember how to do them. So it may be challenging for you, but not challenging for me, but you can't compare the two. So I always tell people, just focus on you. It's me versus me. It's not me versus you, or it's not a competition to be like, oh my gosh, I had my stroke 10 years ago and you already surpassed me. That's not how it is. Age plays a factor. Your physicality of how active you were plays a factor. Your health plays a factor. Like, do you have high blood pressure? Do you have diabetes? Do you have high cholesterol? A lot of stuff plays a factor, especially your age too, because we think about strokes happening to older people, but now this day and age, it's happening to so many younger people that is crazy. Because when I was in the hospital, the stroke unit, the youngest person that was on that floor was 21 years old, and
Wow.
it's like you don't think that it will ever happen to you. And that's another thing I want to say. You don't ever think you're exempt from anything in life. Anything can happen to you. Because I didn't think I was going to have a stroke. It wasn't even in the forefront of my mind. That's not something you walk around thinking about, oh my gosh, I'm about to have a stroke. No, you don't think about that stuff. But don't ever think you're untouchable or something will never happen to you. But what you can do is make sure your body's in shape, going to the doctor, doing your checkups, taking care of your body and your health, and not eating all these dang on spicy bowls off the internet. You know what I'm saying? So take care of your take care of your health. But yeah, for me, it's like you just got, as a stroke survivor, it's me versus me. It's not me versus another stroke survivor. It's me versus me. So,
Wow, that's beautiful. Thank you so much, Rashmi, for being on. It was a pleasure speaking with you and
yes.
you sharing your story
Yes.
with us. There are so many gems that you have dropped, so I hope that the Bloomies are ready to collect them all. Where can they
Yes.
follow you? Where can they support you?
Yes, they can follow me on all my social media platforms. I'm on TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. My YouTube channel, I'm trying to get that following up, and my handle is it's your girl underscore Rashmy, or it's your girl Rashmy. Just search Rashmy, and I'll pop up on any of the social media platforms. Just hit the follow button. Follow your girl, and you will see my stroke recovery journey, and as well as sharing some lifestyle stuff, as well as just me living life after, because there's life after a stroke, so I have to live my life. So I'm gonna be sharing that a little bit as well. So yes, that's where you guys can follow me. It would be much appreciated. All the bloomies, just follow your girl.
I love that. And it's Rashmy, Rashmy. Just
Yes.
to be sure of the spelling for the Bloomies out there.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you so much. And we look forward to supporting you and, of course, having you
Yes.
on. back again
Thank you
because
for
now you're an official
thank you for
Bloomy.
having
So
me.
you
Yes,
can't like run away from
I
us.
am.
So,
Thank you. No, no.
all right, Bloomies. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Blooming Lately podcast. All of your listens and all of your support is much appreciated, and I definitely feel the love. Please do follow me on Instagram at Blooming Lately Pod. And again, you can check out the description of this episode and all episodes to get access to the links so you can support and follow any guests that I have on as well. And while you're at it, just leave a little comment, rate the episode, keep the love flowing. Let's keep these blooms blooming. Until next time, I'll talk to you later. Bye.